Terror-stricken. Doesn't your aunt like the creepy stuff? Yeah? Why? I always thought it was cool. Kinda strange if you ask me. Rowan pretended to study his fingernails while watching her response. Who isn't weird? Polly's breaths remained even and steady. She died anyways. Cancer. She fell. It metastasized. He felt guilty for cutting her short, but he didn't need to hear any more. He hated questioning anyone. Didn't people know that failure to respond to a question could result in charges? And likewise, failure to ask questions could result in charges. And now to be a hypocrite. Rumors are she traded in emotional extortion for power and drugs. Chatter is she likes gabapentin too, doesn't she? Like to do them acid trips back in the 70s. He had no idea where that character Mad Lib came from. He hoped his voice hadn't wobbled. I don't know. We aren't that close. Haven't ever been, as far as I know. He suspected as much. You talked to your cousin any? Polly looked up at him with reddened and puffy brown eyes. Which one? The one we're talking about. Your aunt's kid. She had more than one. And I don't know them either. Her tone turned harder and more hurt. They can call me if they want, but no one ever has. Not really. All I know is one is in real estate and the other works for a pharmaceutical company. They have some big monopoly thing and employee perks. Well, anyone else? You know, mister, the other odd thing, why would she write Chris's friend? There are a lot of Christophers. I don't follow either. Rowan shifted his weight onto his other side. Yeah, it's bizarre. How big is a crime scene? Someone said the whole world is. But that can't be right, can it? Rowan swallowed and scanned their shared surroundings. The sight reeked of terrorism. Defend against enemies, foreign and domestic. Jesus Christus. Rowan scratched his head, trying to block out the images knocking from the back of his crowded mind. The serial killer, or serial terrorist, was a new classification. It included corporations, entities, and non-profits, as well as government rings that conspired to bring about the downfall of others. Machiavelli's prince had fallen way out of fashion and crashed way off track. And the blood spatter didn't add up. And the victim. Who found the deceased's body? And why did it matter? Rowan shook his head again. Death was so embarrassing. Yet the dead stopped feeling the physical and didn't care about pride and ego. You never forget some things, especially the dead. Ghosts show on people's faces. The wide-eyed spasm of fear and shock, recoiling from the horror of witnessing something living beings cannot comprehend. The navy-clouded sky opened and rain poured down. He rubbed his forehead as the cold drops rolled down his face. Rowan wished the heavy torrents would wash away the images in his mind. He needed to think without all the red flags flying around. Focus, please, he begged himself. The image recovered, clear and smooth. The body's eyes were blanched and colorless, with a viscous film covering the iris and parts of the sclera. Rowan wiped more jet fuel-laced water from his face, licked his lips, and spit the residue onto the ground in front of him. He didn't explain to his vulgarity. The little one beside him didn't need anything else to traumatize her. He had to tread carefully. She had no need to know that murdered souls lingered with those responsible for their passings. The choice remained with the departed soul, not those who sought power from the released anima. Rowan didn't know what to ask now. If the person were older, he might offer a cigarette. And didn't carry lollipops or suckers. He'd seen enough insides to stay away from that stuff, from rotted teeth and diabetes. And they were miles from any health facility. He hated endings.